look, I'm going to skip the preamble in this video. I'm just going straight to it. I want to try to figure some things out. I want you guys to help me with something. I did a video yesterday where I said that the Lakers are probably not going to win the title this season. Now, I did have a picture of LeBron James up there, but the title definitely said the Lakers, and I said probably, not definitely, not uh, you know uh, it's room for it's wiggle room for me to be like, look, I could be wrong, but I think that the Lakers probably aren't going to win the championship this season. And I said this season. I didn't say ever. I said this season. And I gave reasons, even though I know a lot of people didn't listen to them or like, whatever. They didn't listen to the reasons I gave. They didn't, they didn't listen to me saying that Anthony Davis is injury prone and he's already hurt and he doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. And LeBron James, as great as he is, he's older. He's showing definite signs of slowing down. And I think him playing an 82 game schedule is different from 10 years ago, him playing an 80 game schedule. He has a lot of mileage. He has a lot of wear and tear. He already had what you call an old man injury last year, a non-contact injury. All right. You have a lot of bums on that bench. All right. The bench is not very productive generally. Kuzma is playing okay, but not like the Kuzma last year. Um, Rondo's coming back, but the Western Conference is a lot more competitive. And the Lakers still have a bad habit of playing to the level of their competition sometimes. Uh, that switch that LeBron James and his team used to have a lot of times in the Eastern Conference, sometimes they would turn it on, turn it off. When he was with Cleveland, they would do that. You can't afford to do that in the Western Conference. But I gave all these different reasons and the emergence of Kawhi Leonard. He's in the Western Conference. But I'm hating on LeBron. Don't understand that. I'm talking about the Lakers. But somehow, with some of my subscribers, I'm hating on LeBron James because I said that he might not be on a team that wins a title this year. If I was talking about politics like I often do, and if I said, I think that Joe Biden is going to win the nomination, and here's why. He's the establishment pick. The establishment is behind him. Obviously, the news media, for the most part, are behind people like Joe Biden and maybe Elizabeth Warren, who's a fake progressive. They're not really behind Joe Biden. The media pretty much is phasing out pretty much someone like Tulsi Gabbard. They don't like Tulsi Gabbard. And also I think that as we go through the primaries, as we go through the southern states, the black vote, which was very important in the South in the Democratic primary, probably going to vote for Joe Biden because of his affiliation with Barack Obama. Now, if I say that, most people are like, that's a pretty educated, guess. You wouldn't really hear people say, hey, man, the primaries are at least, 4 or 5 months away. I mean, how can you sit there and say something like that today? Or if I say the reason why I don't think Donald Trump is going to be reelected is because of his low approval rating. I think his base has not grown much. If anything, his base has retracted. I think a lot of people who voted for him in 2016 have buyer's remorse. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are cultists that they're going to vote for this guy irregardless. But a lot of people, have been disappointed in Trump. And I think that the blue states that he carried last time, Wisconsin, uh, Michigan, Pennsylvania, those states, which he narrowly carried, the Democratic candidate this year is not going to make the same mistake Hillary Clinton made back then, which is not visiting those states at all. And Trump lived in the Midwest. He lived in the Rust Belt as far as campaigning. And a lot of people thought he was making a mistake doing it. He narrowly carried those states. But this time, this is a different situation. A guy like Joe Biden is very popular in the Midwest. And they're not going to make the same mistake. And if he loses those states, He's got to match it elsewhere, which I don't think he's going to do. And I see him losing substantially on election day. People can be like, okay, well, I can see that happening. I might not necessarily agree, but people are going to be like, hey, man, that's a year from now, man. How you going to make such a stupid-ass argument a year from now? I mean, we got a whole election cycle to go, a whole primary season, the whole general election and debates, whoever the candidate going to be. We don't even know the Democrat candidate going to be. How can you say something so stupid? All I'm saying is, yes, there's only 9 games into the regular season. But I already see certain things with the Lakers that gives me the impression that they're going to be a team that is going to probably make it to the Western Conference Finals, where they might lose. They could probably lose to the Clippers. The fact remains that the Clippers don't have Paul George yet. Paul George was, until he got hurt last year, was one of the leading candidates for MVP. And he's going to be the second best player on his team. And this is another thing, too. LeBron James missed a total of 55 games last year for the Lakers. And during that stretch of 55 games, some of it was load management, a lot of it was injury. Uh, the Lakers were, I think, 28-27, right? Now, no, that's not right. LeBron James played in 55 games last year. And during that time, they were 28-27. That's what it was. He didn't miss 55 games. I know it was that many. He missed 27 games. I think 17 or 18 to injury, the other 9 or 10 to load management. The games that Kawhi Leonard played, and he played in, I think, 62 games, I think it was last year. Or 60. I think it was 60. It was something like that. I can't remember the exact spread, but I know that they won something like 69% of the games that he played in. Now, in the 27 games that LeBron James missed last year, the Lakers were something like 9-18 or something like that. In the 22 games that Kawhi Leonard missed with the Raptors were 17-5. So partially that's one of the reasons why I think that the Lakers probably are going to lose. The Lakers are too reliant upon LeBron James in their system. He's a great, great player. And without LeBron James for any, stretch, for a long stretch, the Lakers will fall apart because they're too reliant upon LeBron James to make their offense, to make their team to have any success. Whereas, as great a player as Kawhi Leonard is, if you take Kawhi Leonard away for 5 games, the Clippers are probably going to go 4-1, especially when Paul George comes back, which is why the Clippers can afford to do load management with Kawhi Leonard, even though I don't agree with it at first until I found out he was injured. But with LeBron James, you can't. He's not afforded the same opportunities. So you have this situation where he's going to have to play point guard for so long, until Rajon Rondo comes back. And I just see things down the stretch of the season. I see a lot of guys basically getting worn down, okay? I see a lot of dudes getting worn down. I see Anthony Davis. I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong. The Lakers could go 60-22, and Kawhi could get injured, and regardless of load management, and the Lakers could romp to the playoffs. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just giving you my opinion, which is all I can do right now. But these are some of the reasons why I think the Lakers aren't going to win the title, because I think that the way they're playing is not the way they're playing their offense right now, with LeBron James having this much of a load. It's not sustainable. Now, when Rondo comes back, LeBron's going to move off ball, and maybe that will help. But one of the things that LeBron James hasn't really been able to do still is play defense on the same level as he played when he was with Miami. LeBron James is still a defensive liability in my book at this stage of his career. And that's one of the problems that you're going to have. In the playoffs, defense is a beast. Defense is often the team that's the better defensive team, they have the better schemes, usually win the series. And with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, if they're both healthy come playoff time, plus with Lou Williams coming off their bench, Patrick Beverly, it's hard for me to see the Lakers beating the Clippers in a 7-game series. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying?